Hello, welcome to Invest, where we talk about investing, finance, and professional women. As a recording time of 1:25 p.m. on Eastern Time, Ethereum contract $3,751, up about 2.03% so far. With respect to overall crypto market, see clearly on the overall crypto market on the left side of the charts is bright green today. Seems like we are starting the New Year's. On the domestic front, I know New Year's have already happened on the international side of the house, but it seems like on this Saturday, with the minimal media affectation that we have collectively observed so far, is driving some buying pressure across the board, right? But we've been studying the technicals. We know that we have bounced off on the technical resistance support level of specifically Ethereum $3,650, right? Which I know a lot of my friends here on YouTube, just very happy that you guys actually bought the dip, but not just for yourself, but for your moms, for your dads, and for your family members. It's really nice to see that we are so supportive and being so kind to our family members, right? I did something comparable to that, but I didn't specifically buy my mom Ethereum. I just took them out for a nice lunch yesterday in the Midtown region. It's a restaurant called The Pool, or The Grill, if you may. It's a really fancy one. The bill was definitely a huge one. I think the dinner or lunch, right, was like $650 for like 3 people, which was, when I looked into the bill, I was like, wow, what do we eat? But anyways, it was definitely a good time that I spent. And then subsequently, I just went out to downtown to get pizza. If you guys follow my Instagram post from yesterday, I've been dying to try this pizza joint called Prince Street Pizza. And yesterday, I don't know, it was like a spur of moment. My family decided to you know what? Let's just it's only like, we got like a lunch, but the lunch was like so little food, but like so expensive for no particular reason. I mean, I guess fancy restaurants are, not my cup of tea, but I want to try. I want to also take my parents out for like a nice setting, knowing the fact that it's been a tough year. And yeah, we were still hungry after the lunch, which $650, including tips, is supposed to make you at least feel, fulfilled or not hungry anymore. But I was like super hungry. But me, I'm just always hungry because I work out so much, right? So we just got pizza at Prince Street Pizza, and we got like basically a whole pie, the pepperoni one. It's like a deep dish pizza. I don't know if you're like from New York, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it was good. It was definitely flavorful. But I was like, not like super hungry. So maybe my experience at that time was like not the most pronounced, if you may. My dad was like, "It's okay. You give this like a 7 out of 10." My mom was like, "It's 8 out of 10 at least." But I've actually have some reserve on the side, so I'm actually gonna give this to my sister when she comes by on Wednesday. She comes by like the house on Wednesday just to like visit, and she's also gonna bring my dog Finn to visit us. So I'm actually froze 3 slices for them. So hopefully they'll like it. We'll see how it goes, right? And let's just go back into technical analysis. Sorry for going off tangent, talk about pizza, which is not the best use of your time. But for those that are from New York, like, yeah. Or when you come by New York, I think Prince Street Pizza is not a terrible solution. So respect to technical front, let's just dive right into it, shall we? Look in the media front, I would say there isn't a lot of news, but we can dive into that subsequent to this technicals, knowing the fact that technical is more important into speaking the truth. So respect to recording time of basically around 1:30 p.m. on the Eastern Time, Ethereum country $3,751, up about 2.02% so far. As you can see clearly, we bounced off from the 3,650. We're leaping up and away right now. We are still at the neutral level. It seems like we are slowly forming a curvature at the moment. So we're basically near bottom. I would say we're like basically 10-15% away from the bottom, right? In terms of being oversold. So I think the reversal is actually coming. I do foresee a bullish couple of hours and at least days ahead. Knowing the fact that whatever has been, relatively depleted has been depleted already. So selling further right? Let's say 3,450 or 3,150 based on a historical level. 3,150 would not be logical at all at the moment, right? It will just be a huge outlier to the chart, right? And the market dynamics can never work that way. So I don't really foresee that to be happening, to be honest. So I think 3,650 was really the dip in the near term. So again, congrats to you guys. You are already up $100 if you bought one Ethereum specifically. And I guess also congrats to your mom and your dad. You know, for I remember one of my friends here on YouTube said that she actually bought some Ethereum for her mom. So I'm really happy that she's up right now. For Bitcoin right now, it's up about 3%, bouncing from basically the 46, right? We are contemplating, do we go back up to the basically 48, right? With 47,924 is technically the next resistance level. So as we crack above it, right, with the 43, I think we have a real shot actually continue to leap up to ideally test the 52,600 all over again. And you know that this is basically like a wall that has been relatively sustained for quite some time despite the recent volatility, right? Like the FOMC meeting, right? The COVID Omicron news that Joe Biden has been, depicting on the media front several times, right? From the speech that we have heard 2 Tuesdays ago, and also with respect to the developmental story that he has updated for us. And then subsequent to that, with Dr. Fauci's initiatives as well, saying about the travel ban and the mandatory vaccinations and the COVID tests for any domestic flights going forward, right? So all of these regulatory, stringents have, despite all of those in combination, the tax write-offs and the year-end profit taking, we're still sustaining the current level. That tells you a lot of things that, the market is relatively holding strong, that the arm wrestle, the bulls between the bears is substantive. So it's not terrible, right? Respect to Dogecoin right now, anywhere from, again, right, 16 cents to below would still be a better level. Cardano, anywhere from 134 to 120 is still a better level for us based on just the frame. I think 120 will be hard to crack because of how many walls we have formed in the past, right? Solana is currently down about 2.25% at the moment. Anywhere from 155 to below is still a better level for us. So again, 155, 133, 113 from here. XRP is currently up about 3.35%, right? Anywhere from 78, I think. 78 to 75 are still better level for us. I think we have a real shot of actually going back to 78 because of the level that we at right now is relatively neutral. So it's a little bit more bearish in comparison to like Ethereum Bitcoin at the moment. Polkadot is about 4.5% at the moment. Right now, anywhere from 26 to below is still good. 47 out of 70. So not the best, not the worst, right? A lot of like okay levels per se, right? So with the neutral level in the market perspective at the moment. Algorand's up about 4%. Seems like we're leaping still. Very high risk, I would say, with the 60 out of 70. So this is not the best time for you to incur risk on Algorand. So I would stay away. I would even think about maybe as we go further up, which I don't think we will have a real shot doing. I think shorting would be a very logical thing to do for Algorand because of the fact that we are basically trying to crack above 180 and then go up to $2. But it's going to be a difficult one, so I don't actually think we have a shot of doing so. Shiba Inu, anywhere from 29.50 to below is still a better level for us, right? Right now it's okay, not the best, not the worst. MagTech is going to be in for a sell-off. We form a def cross with the 56 out of 70, so very overbought right now. So 175 to 143 is still better level for us. I'll start incurring risk at 175 when we bounce off from that drop that we've had, right? This is basically coming from the Omicron news ever since the FOMC meeting, right? FOMC meeting, Omicron news, and subsequently kind of revival because of the sector rotations, and aka the Santa Claus rally, right? AVAX up about 3.15%. We have a gap right now, so this is not good. This is very fishy activity going on with an outlier into the chart. And this looks like a head and shoulder. So the sell-off is going to be quite disgusting, to be honest with you. I think 81 to 60 is still a better level for us to incur risk at. Luna right now is 61 out of 70, so not good. I would say I'll probably stay away for now. And wait until we come back to 62, 52, and 45 from there, right? And then let me just take a look at the news real quick. I'll say collectively there is some interesting news. Talk about just a roundup on basically what's happened in the last year, right? We've already recapped in the recent time frame. We know exactly what happened. The next one's on Cointelegraph 7 hours ago. Talk about Bitcoin starts at 2022 at 47.2 thousand as a fresh research pinned performance on the future outlooks going forward. It seems like in this article they talk a little bit about the option expiry of the 6.1 billion for Bitcoin, despite that option expiry, which has been relatively bearish in comparison to the bull options, with sustained above the level of support of 45, which is a critical one. But despite that, it seems like the bearish sentiment is not as like severe as expected. So it should build upon based on the current consolidation level right now to have that architectural support to further build upon the current level that we are right now. And I think the technical supports it right now. We are relatively oversold, right? With the upper echelon of the neutral, obviously the 43 out of 70, but 35 is basically oversold. I think right now is actually not terrible in terms of incurring risks still, right? On Cointelegraph about 8 hours ago, talk about Bitcoin fell short of analysts' 100K target, but what's next for next year? So it seems like this is again, right? This is like a downward wedge, right? As we have been looking into it for quite some time, right? If you draw this, it looks like a downward triangle, right? And this wedge is comparable to like the ones that we for Ethereum, right? And it seems like the worst has already pretty much baked in a recent time frame. So I actually support that we are seeing a reversal right now, knowing the fact that Bitcoin and Ethereum has plunged basically 40% approximately. That seeing more sell-off would require the corporate investors to sell on a loss collectively, right? So we know that they pay most of the taxes already, but in Q1 we're gonna see more taxation events happening because that's tax season. And also at the same time with the Joe Biden's administrative tactical support for the vaccinations and the COVID Omicron fights that we're still in right now, we might see some volatility. But after that, I do foresee a bright sky, like a blue sky away, as we continue, right? I think we're pretty much at the bottom or near bottom at the moment. I don't really see 10K or like 20K for Bitcoin. I think that's really, really absurd, to be honest with you. I think we hope for it because it will allow you to buy more on the dips, right? But I don't really think that's logical at all based on the technicals. And the technicals never lie to me. I don't think it has ever lied to me. It always tells the truth. And that's why it works for us collectively. And I know that the technicals has always worked for us in terms of generating profit, right? I know for this year, collectively, just like between us, I know even some of my subscribers has said that the technical speaks the truth and never lies. Is like whatever that we've been talking about. It's not because Maurice is a wizard. It's because like the technicals tells us the truth into allowing us to make the right risk management decisions to dollar cost average. So the returns and the profit that you guys have been making is really your effort, your logics that implemented into the success that you have cultivated so far, right? So with respect to that's pretty much on the news front. And also on Enron, we are pretty much still at the okay level. We are at the 40, so it's not the best, not the worst still. But obviously, if you bought in at the 130 prior days, that was the better level, right? And respect to the Patreon, I got some questions. And thank you so much for the support. I got a relatively big surprise in terms of the appetites from you guys. You guys are really the best on to supporting my firstly my channel, but also my Patreon initiatives as well. And a big question that I had from a couple of my Patreon members is that or people that are interested in subscribing is asking me, I currently have a small portfolio. Is that okay that you are willing to work with me? I mean, we are all students of life. We are all collectively working together. It's just that I'm a little bit more ahead because of my how lucky and how fortunate I have been, right? I've worked on Wall Street for 10 years. I've worked in one of the top firms, and worked for one of the best hedge fund and private equity managers in the past. That allows me to, build that financial success that I have, right? That's why I have the support from CNBC onto telling my story. So there isn't really like a specific like, oh, my portfolio is small, so I wouldn't work with you. I don't think of it that way. I think of this as a form of education. I look forward to, obviously passing on my knowledge to you guys on understanding how to invest in crypto, understand to invest in stocks, right? But also, for the ones that actually sign on to my Centurion account, I look forward to having one-on-one conversations with you guys, on to understanding what's your life aspirations going forward, and how I can help you get there going forward, right? It could be your business. It could be, you're thinking about idealizing your life aspirations going forward, right? It could be a startup idea. Remember, I am a fund manager for corporate investors. I do have a relatively deep Rolodex, that I know in the industry that can support your initiatives. And I look forward to being your advisor, your friend even, and consultant to help you get there, right? It takes a team, it takes a village of effort to cultivate what we're building together. And your commitment to me is something that I value for life. It's not something that I'm just like in it because like, I'm looking for a lot of subscribers. I'm looking for just people signing on. No, it's I'm building a family here, and your commitment to me is something that I value the most, right? And I will always be, as you have my back, I will always have your back, and I can promise you that. So, all right, it feels a little bit kind of soft, like I don't know. It's like a very sentimental value type of articulation, I guess. It got me a little bit of emotional for a second. But anyways, so with respect to the risk management levels, these are levels that I've identified so far. Your relationship to me is important, but in terms of muting all of the emotions when investing, these are the quantitative tactical numbers to go with, right? And again, I'll update these multiple times a day, right? And with respect to my Patreon updates, I update those twice a day, but it would include obviously 30 plus crypto. I got some suggestions earlier today from my Patreon members, so I'm actually going to add those in. Stocks as well, I only have 20 right now, but I'm going to add that onto it because just imagine like doing 100 research and analysis on 100 stocks per day. It's going to get a lot, it's going to be a lot of work, but I know that I love what I'm doing, and I have refined a process that works for me. So hopefully, this will be beneficial to you guys. And with respect to Enron, we are basically within the attractive levels already. So not terrible level to incur risk at the moment, at least for building for long term, right? I'll say collectively we are in a lot of okay levels, right? Not the best, not the worst. But in terms of incurring risk long term, I think we're still in a discount level, right? So hopefully this is helpful. Really appreciate you for joining me on the second one today. I hope you guys all have a great, happy New Year domestically, but also obviously it's already Jan 2nd for respective countries internationally. So I hope you guys have a great days ahead and weeks ahead as we revive back up to the normal course of cadence past holidays already, right? So it's a privilege, it's a pleasure. Really appreciate your friendship, and stay tuned to come up. Take care. Bye.